good morning and happy Saturday. It is good to be with you all here. Thank you all for joining in and welcome to the season of Lent, the season of 40 days, not including Sundays, those are feast days, but the 40 days as we lead up to and anticipate the resurrection. A lot of people give up things for Lent as a means of fasting. Some people take on things, but nonetheless, it is a meaningful time and a meaningful journey in our Christian faith that we can take that time to reflect and prepare our hearts for a new beginning in the resurrection and the promise that we have and the eternal hope through the death, the crucifixion, the death, the burial, and the resurrection. All right, I'm going to stop preaching now. But throughout this season, I'm going to try to post a different video each day along the lines of reflections and preparation and anticipation of the crucifixion and the cross and ultimately the resurrection. Now, not everything I post will fit perfectly within that theme. But it will be a lot of familiar music, and some things I may post 2 or 3 times throughout this season. I think I've got 3 or 4 arrangements, wonderful arrangements of the Old Rugged Cross, and I want to share them all because I think they are all equally beautiful and meaningful in their own respect. So if I double or triple post a song, I hope you'll forgive me, but I hope you'll enjoy it as well. the victory that overcomes the world. All right, let's see who knows this one. Lots of people knew that one. Ivory Palaces. Looks like Mom's already up and logged in this morning. Good morning. It's early for her. My friend Glenda Austin is on this morning. Good morning, Glenda. If you do not follow her page, you must. She is absolutely one of the best and one of the most polished piano players you will ever hear, and her arrangements are wonderful and just lush as well. But be sure to follow Glenda Austin Pianist. You will not regret it. And yes, thank you. The piano does sound good. It's not me, I promise. It's the piano. And I absolutely love playing it. Last week, the reason I was not live was I was having a little bit of finishing touches of a series of work done on the piano. As you all know, this is a new to me piano. It's not that old. In terms of piano's life expectancy, it's still a baby. But I was not the original owner, but I'm very, very fortunate to be the owner of this amazing instrument now. And so I was just having some professionals fine-tune it, and now it is truly like a brand new instrument, and it is an absolute dream come true to get to play this all the time, and it is an honor. And I feel that I have been blessed in this capacity to have this instrument and called to share it with you. So last week I was having some work done on it. I've had several different appointments over the past couple of months to get it in tip-top shape, and it truly is now, and it is an absolute dream. But thank you, Glenda, and thanks for tuning in this morning. And I see Cameron is here this morning as well. If you don't have his new book, The Golden Octave, you need to go, and if you play the piano or you know somebody that plays the piano in church or just loves hymns of the church, it is an excellent collection. Definitely recommend it, and that's on his website. And neither of my friends paid me for those commercials this morning. I think the world of both of those folks and want to support and encourage their music just like they have mine. So I'm going to play one from Cameron's collection, from the Golden Octave. This is Worthy of Worship. worthy of worship, worthy of praise. I had the great honor of accompanying the author of that hymn, Mark Blankenship. Some members of our church and our choir were previously members of a church that Mark served at, and were good friends of his and his wife's. And when one of our church members passed away, Mark came and sang at her service, and I had the great fortune of accompanying him. And I have learned recently that he is battling some advanced cancer. So be sure to pray for Mark Blankenship, who is the author of many hymns, and most notably probably is worthy of worship. Here's one more from Cameron's book. For I know who holds tomorrow, and I know who holds my hand. There is a Redeemer, Jesus, God's own Son, precious Lamb of God, Messiah, the Holy One. Thank you, O my Father, for giving us your Son and leaving your Spirit till the work on earth is done. And the last stanza of this hymn says, when I stand in glory, I will see his face. There I'll serve my King forever in that holy place. There is a Redeemer. rugged cross and exchange it someday for a crown. Beautiful hymn, beautiful arrangement. Got Penelope joining us now. She's been a little under the weather the past few days with an ear infection, so she's never been far from our sides. Have you? Her mama is at a hair appointment, so she is close to Dad this morning. Don't think I've ever played this arrangement. I don't think I know that one. Just As I Am. Just kidding. I'd have to turn in my Baptist card if I didn't know that one. Redeemed, how I love to proclaim it. But a waltz. I love that. I want to make sure I mention, because several people said I'll watch the replay or I'll catch the beginning earlier. I tuned in late. I've been made aware that at some point later this year, I don't know when, but Facebook will no longer be saving replays of live videos. And so in order to go back and watch them, I've never really, Facebook has always been my primary platform for music and posting my videos and going live. But for the past several months, these live videos have also been streaming simultaneously to YouTube. And I believe that even though Facebook will no longer keep the live videos forever, as they have, so you can go back and watch any previous live, I believe YouTube will. I've never, like I said, I've never really publicized that I also post to YouTube, and I've only been streaming to YouTube for several months, but those will continue to stream simultaneously, and I will try to be better about posting the same videos that I post to Facebook sporadically throughout the week. I will also post to YouTube. But if you want to follow, it's not Trey Ogle Music on YouTube. It's just Trey Ogle. I think the handle is at Trey Ogle. But if you just go to YouTube and you search Trey Ogle Piano or Trey Ogle Organ or Trey Ogle Hymns or Trey Ogle Music, I promise you it will come up and you will be able to find those. So please, at some point, if you enjoy going back and re-watching lives from the past, at some point, if you could make it a point to go over to YouTube and find my channel and follow or subscribe or whatever it's called. I don't really know. On Facebook, I know it's follow and like. I don't know what they say on YouTube, but if you will go to my channel, Trey Ogle, on YouTube and follow that page or subscribe or whatever it's called, you will be able to go back in perpetuity and watch the live streams. Now, I don't know that I will have a chance to archive all of the lives that I have ever played. I've been doing this for over 5 years, almost every week for those 5 years. So that's a lot of videos, and I don't even know where to begin in terms of archiving all of those. There are certainly some special ones that were at special times for me that I may go back and try to save those somehow. I don't know. I think none of that's happening until later this summer, maybe early fall, but we'll have to see. But anyways, all that to say, videos are also on YouTube. Please go and subscribe to the Trey Ogle YouTube channel. But also, I want to make abundantly clear that Facebook will continue to be the primary platform that I share music and continue to do these Saturday morning coffee and hymns. So that's not going anywhere. I'm not giving up Facebook or throwing it to the wayside and only going to YouTube. Since we have the ability to do both, why not do both? But thank you all for all of you that continuously support my music and go back and watch replays and share videos and comment. It really means the world to me to know that my music ministry truly is shared around the world. I just can't even begin to put into words how much that means to me. So thank you to all of you who have continued to show your love and support through these over 5 years now. I've been doing this for about 5 years, which is crazy to think. And some of you have been along for the entire journey. And then some of you are newcomers, and we love you just as much. Welcome to the family. All right. I guess I'm about up on time. Let's see if I can find maybe one or two more to play. And then we'll head on about our Saturday. Well, somebody is telling me that it's time for me to stop playing, so I better listen, or else she's going to take over. Thank you all for joining me this morning. I hope that this has been as much of a blessing for you as it has for me to get to share. I hope you have a great week and a blessed weekend, and we will see you very soon. Take care.